Okay, I guess we should get started.
Sure.
Okay. So, good morning to one and all present here. So today we'll be having an interview session with Mr. Pawan Kumar Rai, who is the co-founder of Finshots and also a graduate of IIM. So sir started his journey in the entrepreneurial world when he was in college, and as of now, today Finshots have 350,000 subscribers. So thank you, sir, for joining here tonight, and we really are honored to have you here. And so shall we start with the question, sir?
Sure.
Okay. Okay then. So, sir, the first question is the idea behind FinShots was noble, but we all know how hard it is to, in India, is to reject a 9 to 5 job, even if you have passion towards the idea, or sometimes a family doesn't agree. Sometimes the time fails in its initial stages. Sometimes, so even though you are a part of IIM and a co and you yourself ran out of your 2 credit cards. So please share with us the difficulties that you faced initially while establishing your startup and how you guys overcame it together.
Actually, see, obviously, there are a lot of things that goes into when you want to start a startup, right? I mean, and it's not very easy to, of course, ditch placements and start something of your own. It doesn't matter how good the idea looks on the face of it. So initially, I mean, I used to trade. I was a stock trader before joining IIM also. So I was into stock market. I had a passion where I was like it's interesting thing, like you can trade, you can earn money, right? And it's the idea of financial freedom was always very interesting, right? You don't have to work for anyone else, and you just sit in a room, use a laptop, and just see the screen and make money. So yeah, I mean, after even like like even after engineering also, I also did my engineering from bit mesra, and after engineering everything was like getting a good job was the this thing. Obviously, even during the engineering, when I did my engineering, I also thought about this startup thing and all, but I never ventured into it because, of course, I mean, at that point of time, it was like a job is much better deal, right? The first job is always very special. Okay, so yeah, after doing that job, also I was not very happy, like, and after even in the MBA thing, right? I mean, the same is repeats. People think life changes after MBA, maybe something different. That's a common thought for all engineers, at least in India. That's why they go after MBA. Yeah, but in the second year, I think I realized quickly that there is no point in again doing the same thing. Right? It's going to be the same place. Nothing changes. So yeah, I mean, I had a project under a professor where it was like a opening, like how to improve DMAT penetration in India right now, right? So with that project, I was pretty inspired, where I thought, okay, maybe we should pursue this project as a startup rather than just And the reason why the idea came to pursue a startup was because I thought ki maybe even after placements, if you don't take placements, they give you a scholarship over there. I think many engineering colleges also have this. Basically, either they will give you a deferred placements or they will give you some stipend. So yeah, IMA also gives some stipend. So yeah, so we like I thought, ki, theek hai, let's pursue this idea and let's see how it goes. And I mean, monetary challenges. See, to be honest, to be very frank, on parents' side, I was sorted because my parents always believed on me. I mean, they were okay. Obviously, they didn't understand what I was trying to do. Okay, they were not very this thing. But yeah, maybe they thought, "Ki, theek hai, whatever he will do good." So I was lucky to have sorted that side. There was no parental pressure of taking a job from IM. Yeah, but finding a co-founder was the most difficult part, I think, in IMA, right? It's the most difficult part because doing it alone is like stupidity. I mean, a lot of people have that this thing, right? Because problem what have generally have is like when you have an idea, yeah, you feel it's your baby, right? It's very hard to even work with someone, and those people joining you might not have the same passion for the same thing what you do, right? So but yeah, I was lucky to have found find the co-founders, right? And yeah, I mean, we thought okay, maybe we'll start and we'll get the funding, everything will be sorted, there won't be any financial issues and all, right? That's how we were actually stubborn, I would say. And I think that's the main thing what you should have, right? If you're stubborn, then maybe entrepreneurship because if you know everything what will happen, you might not pursue it, right? So yeah, that is the reason we did it. And yeah, we started out with that.
Okay, thank you for the answer, sir. And the next one is, so when you started Finshots, so Finshots heavily relied on the word of mouth marketing, and you never really spent a single penny on the advertisements and all that. So, what was your motive behind such risk?
Actually, motive is there's no such motive. The reason when we started the first product in our college, we paid for there was a product called Finception. It's still live, and when we used to run ads on Twitter and Facebook, we realized the kind of customers you get is, I mean, very trivial. I mean, they are fake accounts, spam accounts. Okay, so, and there are a lot of companies you will see, they run a lot of ads, and if you check their followers, right, you won't find that maximum is dummy accounts. Maximum of them are dummy accounts. So it's like paying you, like spending money to get followers like stupid. You can't, you have to crack something organic, right? So that's why from there on, we realized that there is no point in spending on marketing at this point of time. Because see, even if it's Finshots, what else you will get? If you, let's say, you do a marketing for our current product, like insurance product Ditto, so if I promote that, people might buy stuff from me, and I still earn something, right? So I got some money for marketing. But what about Finshot? I mean, if I run ads for Finshots, obviously one is I will get a dummy followers. Even if let's say I got a good follower, there is no paid model with Finshots, right? So it always for us was like, let's make Finshots completely, what is it, word of mouth, make products so better that people itself themselves talk about it, right? And it worked for it. See, there are a lot of on internet, if you do good stuff, right, some really good stuff, and there is ethics, I think people do share it a lot, people do talk about it a lot, but it takes time, of course it takes time. And yeah, I mean, we were really good with infographics. I mean, you must have seen Finshot design, so we nailed design very well. And yeah, I mean, we cracked it out very well. So I think we never, still we don't need any kind of paid this thing for Finshots at least.
Okay, thank you, sir. Of course, the bot accounts are not an organic way of growing. Okay, so the next question is: at the beginning, there were four people in this startup, right? And all four of you even lived together. Though you may have been close friends, but sometimes debates or arguments happen. So, how did you handle that and didn't let it affect your business or friendship? Because often fallout between partners results in a really bad thing for startups.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. But I think the main thing that I feel is like with all four of us, we are all complementary in terms of traits. Okay, so it's impossible to run without anyone. And once you start living with your friends, right, you might be feel ki yaar 2 3 months 6 months might be tough, right? Obviously it was tough, but once you get addicted, not addicted, I would say. I mean, you acclimatize with that people around you. It's like a family, right? You start living with your family, and now you get so habituated that other side of the people might not look very interesting. You become a comfort zone. So our group has become a comfort. It's like an MBA group, right? You like that group only, and you don't want to partner with anyone. You are happy with this group only. You can't even. It's just like you can't be comfortable with anyone else. So once you arguments and all, see, of course, we always did that. But whatever arguments happen, it happens based on data and facts. Nobody does any kind of subjective argument. If somebody does, then they have to support it with some facts and this thing. And for us, it was very clear, like any arguments should be supported by some facts, figures, or data. Then only we could, uh, I mean, do it. And less or more or less, if you don't find some arguments, like there are arguments where it is very subjective. I mean, we tend to do that in a way where everyone's consensus can be taken, right? That without that, we never did anything. So see, I mean, there has to be some values attached to your company. Before that company, there is a small group of people who actually build a product, who actually build a company. So that ethics of company is directly proportional to the ethics of the group. So
Yes,
if, as early as possible, if you could bring that ethics and value in that group, your company will have that ethics and value in the group where everyone's interest, everyone's opinions are taken into consideration and no one feels bad, which is very tough, easy to say. But yeah, I mean, execution wise, we have executed it very well.
yes, sir.
Okay, so before we go to the next question, Karthike, if the participants feel like they have a question when the session flows, right? So you can type those questions in the chat box, and at the last we would read them out. Yeah, Karthik.
Yes, sir. So the next question is, during the kickoff of a business, it is wrong to assume that one will get a huge customer engagement? Like whenever you start a venture, you just don't assume that it will be the most successful thing ever. Most of the times, a business hit a static number and don't observe much substantial change over the course of time. So the starting years must have been difficult for your business too, as the numbers of your regular readers was just 2 to 300, I guess, and it was much later that you guys observed an increase in in your readership. So how did you handle that phase of your life? Because often people give up and they say कि यार कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, and we are not getting anywhere. So how did you handle that portion of your life?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time in 2018 when it was there. We were running Inception, and there was not enough thing happening. Right? We were doing interesting stuff, but yeah, and there was like there will be time where you feel to shut down because if some entrepreneurial journey is there and if they don't actually feel that somewhere, it's I think it's impossible because initial days are very really tough, really tough. So feelings do come, but yeah, I mean, we had no option because we were like, we have to do this only. And luckily, with all my friends, everyone, all of us had that mentality. We were thinking. See, the most important part of any venture is you should keep on thinking every day. What next? What next? It's like a treadmill that is never going to stop. Okay, and that's how you. I mean, you start as a startup, or you start and you basically make it an MNC. As big the company gets, the speed of the treadmill increases, and you have to run that fast. Okay.
Yes,
So every day we used to think we pivoted a lot of pivots. So a lot of very few people know that Finshot was just a content company. We never started as a content company. We started to become a stockbroker. We couldn't do that because they never had money. So we started Finception as a content company. Then in the middle we started hedge fund, which we couldn't materialize because there was no license. So yeah, you do a lot of pivots, right? You take assignments to get earn some money. So yeah, I mean that pivot is necessary to give you a new sense of life where you see maybe this could work, right? Rather than just giving up. So yeah, I mean there are ups and downs. I mean now though, I mean there is no nothing down like what has we have seen in last like 2018. So everything is sorted now. But yeah, initial few days for any business, it's going to be tough. You shouldn't give up for at least 1,000 days.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so the next question is, as of late, in the late 2016 and 2017, the internet has really boomed in India. So due to the leverage of internet and smartphone boom, there is an overload of content and ample choices for customer to choose from. So how do you ensure that FinShots retains a regular and a loyal reader base?
Uh, See, if you ask anyone or even us, right, we found ourselves very stupid to make a media company where so much of content is already there. Like, what else we can do? I mean, if you think now, why would people read you? Let's say I find some XYZ brand. So you have to find a niche of some value prop is needs to be there, right? What else you will offer, right? So our clarity happened slowly that okay, we have spent enough time in writing about stocks, finances that we are at a place where we could simplify stuffs. Okay. So we thought, okay, maybe or maybe how like you people used to ask how many people will read finance. Like if we used to, I don't know if you know about like Finshots team reached out to so many took part in competition, B plan competition. It was not Finshot at that time; it was at Finception. But yeah, we picked the same idea of simplified financial news, and it was rejected everywhere. So it's a straight reject for every single competition or every single place. So nobody believed because obviously people can't see execution, and the real person to decide whether your idea will work is the market. No advisor, no investor could gauge on only the market for whom you are actually making the product. So yeah, I mean, we realized even if the market is small, let it be small. We'll make it simple and let's see how many people read us, right? And we tried our best to. Yeah, to be honest, we never thought it would scale so big. Okay, not this big. We thought maybe we could scale up to maybe 1 lakh, right? Or but we scaled very fast, and because yeah, people there was a problem. People were not able to understand financial news. So I think we figured out that this thing went for college students, a lot of even corporate people, they found value in it. Of course, there is a lot to learn from Finshots, right? And yeah, I mean, this worked out well for us. Yeah. So it's still see the thing is, it's every day. It's a daily dose of making you learn something new,
Yes.
right? Very few content. If I talk about a lot of media startup, whatever, there is still not enough. I mean, what do you say? Like very few media companies where you could end up every day reading it with the same amount of passion, enthusiasm. So with Finshot, we had a very clear idea. We don't want to bore anyone, right? If we start offering more content, people will get bored up with us. So to maintain that craze, right? You give them so less that every day they will end up saying, "Yeah, can you give more?" Right? So that's the idea, and that really worked. People actually crave for more content of Finshot, and we don't offer them only one.
So thank you, sir. So the next question is, as far as personal finances or basic economic awareness is concerned, we usually associate the interest with college students or fresh graduates with job. Do you feel the target network can be enlarged further to school kids, whether through social school curriculum or social media?
You're talking about personal finance to school kids and say, yeah, I mean, it can be done. I mean, there are a lot of scope where people at the age of maybe in 10th, 11th, 12th, they should be start. They should learn about personal finance, not just personal finance, at least about money, how it works, what is the way, because people are clueless how to how money works and how basically a lot of financial stuff. Because these are such a basic things. Doesn't matter what profession you are, you need somebody to help you with your finances.
Yes, sir.
I mean, yeah, it needs to be inculcated. Yeah, I mean, this is a great problem, but yeah, I mean, there's no clear cut solution to it. Also, where you can just say, okay, I will bring a subject in eighth, ninth, and people will start taking
Of course.
interest. So, yeah, I mean, it has to be in a way. Let's say Finshots only. I have seen a lot of reviews where say ki the parents read with their kids together one newsletter called Finshots. So if something is that kind of stuff, this thing is happening, then I think yeah, there is a possibility where kids will also start taking interest in finance.
Yeah, and definitely, do you really think that schools should inculcate this, or it should be more of like parent based? Because school students definitely have a lot of other precious things to handle, and I personally believe that college students must be more inclined towards this.
Yeah, I mean, in whatever way you put, I mean, obviously it should be somewhere where, like, I was not aware of stock market until I did my engineering completely. I completed my engineering. Now, if you see, there are a lot of good colleges where these clubs, Wall Street clubs, and all are already existing, right? So, yeah, these are good initiatives, I would say.
So, sir, Ditto is your latest venture. So what is the future of InShort since many of its so you must be focused more on Ditto as of late. So what is the future of InShort because there are many avid reader base that enjoy its crisp content.
Finshot is actually like is a way where we have built our distribution. Without distribution, you can't get users for any product. Finshot was a way to build trust and distribution, a name for us. Now everybody knows, okay, Ditto is a product of Finshots, right? Now you
Yeah.
could still put some trust on Ditto, right?
Yes.
So Finshots will increase more and more distribution for us. More and more people will read about our products through Finshots. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can take it as a trust building exercise, a community building exercise. So a big community who feels connected to Finshots, right? Like a lot of people take Finshot as like smartest person in the room, right? So if you could build that value prop where people reading Finshot could feel a part of cult, the part of community, the part of cult will actually, whatever you launch, people will use it. So the future is this only. Whatever Finshots launch, Finshots team launch, people, all those readers must take this use at it. Like must use those products. Whatever we launch. Like Ditto is also one of them.
Okay, thank you, sir. So the next question is: recently, with the COVID scenario impacting the whole Indian economic diaspora, the need for financial management among youth and college students is more than ever. So, how would Finshots? Does Finshots have any plans of sensitizing the youth and those who want to learn about the finance management?
I mean, we have a certain like what is inclination that where we think we might start talking more about money on Finshots, right? Money and finances. We should not directly put it just like newsletters marketing our product just like blatantly. It should teach something about money. We have that plan, but yeah, I mean, we don't want to we don't want to dilute our 3 minute this thing, because that 3 minute this thing strikes a very good chord with everyone,
Yes.
right? So there is a plan where we could talk more about money and finances, daily happenings in finance world, right? Yeah, but of course, right now also, if you see, I think it's already been going good with youth of India, where they use Finshots for their financial awareness and literacy. Just it's just slightly less. We could make it more exhaustive. That could be this thing.
So, sir, as you mentioned, Uh, it's not possible to start a venture without a co-founder, right? So, what are the traits that one should look for in a co-founder?
Not
According,
possible is the wrong word. I mean, you can if you want.
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, see, I don't tell you there is no trade or something like that. I mean, for me, in my case, it was just luck. Like I could find right people, and then they got convinced. Because if you start looking for all those trades and tick your check sheet, and then say this is the right guy, that you might end up the guy ran away in the 2 days only, right? So yeah, it's not like that. Where I mean, it happens. See, I mean, my idea of looking at the world is like, when you start thinking something, you are at certain frequency, and you start attracting such kind of people, right? You start meeting such kind of people. So yeah, I mean, you share your my idea was when I started talking about my idea with a lot of people in my campus. Lot of many thought ki, "Okay, maybe I was an idiot," but yeah, many took it seriously, right? So yeah, who took it seriously are with me now. Who didn't take it, they are at the same where they are right now. See, they are there this way. So it depends on you how whoever like resonates, right? You need, I think, more than traits, I think you need people who can resonate with your idea, right? Who can really take it seriously.
Yes, sir. So, okay, sir. So as you said that your parents were really supportive in your journey, right? But most parents aren't familiar with the startup culture and want their children to have that stability in life with a 9 to 5 job. We know that you are the sole earner of a family, and one point you had to lie to your family that you had a job, even with huge pressure of your budding startup. How did you manage both? How did you manage both? And just certain tips for anybody who is starting out. And yeah,
I mean, see, I mean, the thing is ki, I mean, obviously you have to sort out some finance, right? I had a job before. Obviously some savings were there. You can't just get into something where you don't have your finances sorted. So stipend do help a lot, a bit, I would say, right? But apart from this, if you ask, obviously parents do nag a bit, ki, why you are doing this? You could have done this. And it's not, even if they're supported, they would come when if you are in problem, they would come and say, ki, I told you not to do this. So all those things do happen. Okay, it's not key. They were not nagging. They did nag a lot, but yeah, I mean, it was never key. My parents draw a strict line, and I had to stay within that limit. That never happened with my life. There is an instance there are instances where people have little strict parents, right? So
Yeah.
people, yeah. So that was never in my case. I would say. I mean, I actually made my decision alone. I just tell my parents. So that was my case. But yeah, with a lot of people, it is going to be difficult. There is no escape from that. So supportive in terms of that, they never force their decision. That's the main this thing.
Yeah, of course, sir. Supportive parents is one of the greatest things that you can have, I guess, when you are doing something like this. Uh, so the next question is it true that Finshots was a marketing initiative for your next venture, Ditto Insurance?
So see,
And
Finshots is always marketing. It was never the full. We never started Finshots of inception. Whatever we did, it was a main product. Product was something else. We always built some other products before that. Finshot was just a way to market ourselves. Okay, it's a way to build a brand. That's it. It was never meant to be become a content. We never aimed to become a media company. We never did that. It was always a side business for us. We took it because we have four people, right? So we're working on two companies, two ideas together all the time. From last 2018, we always worked on two ideas. One was content and one was product based, either wealth management or what you see now, right? So that's the thing, right? So Finshot, we from day one we knew, okay, if we could make a community, yeah, so and that community will is like more like a distribution channel. You basically put a rails everywhere, and now you are ready to for your trains to move those tracks, right? It's just a distribution way. Because let's say if I you read Finshots, right? Now, if I tell you, okay, hey, there is an insurance company that we are launching, you say, Acha, ye kya hai? What is the new this thing they are launching? You will check it. If you need that product, you will buy it from there, right?
yes, sir.
Right. Rather than going to searching for a brand which you are not aware of. Correct.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So that is how it works. You build a community of people and you interact with them because all of these 350,000 people, we are interacting with them with a small newsletter, correct? So it's an easy way. You don't have to pay money. You don't have to market anything. You just have to put a small uh, news there. Okay, we have launched this. If you want, you can use it. That's it.
Okay, so thank you, sir. Of course, a community building is an important part of a startup, and so what I want to ask next is, so knowing what you do now, is there anything you would have done differently when you were starting out?
Yeah, told you we wanted to become a stockbroker, but
Okay,
we couldn't become a stockbroker because there are a lot of compliances, a lot of money requirements. We we couldn't do that. So yeah, initial idea was that maybe we could become a trading platform as well, who offer holistic thing, everything included, design, news, everything. But yeah, I mean, we dropped that idea long back because we realized we couldn't do that. We can't do this unless we have a strong financial backing.
okay,
Yeah, so I'm really keen about knowing your journey of your Bachelor of Technology. Like, how did the 4 years transform your knowledge and your thought process in the first year to the second to the third to the fourth? Like, most of us are in that process. We are still
Ah,
confused
yes, yes,
what
yes.
to
So
do.
you are at a place where you will have multiple options and you don't know what to do. That is a very common thing. I mean, entrepreneurship always excited me, and but yeah, I mean, I never did something really because at that point of time, you do a lot of things. You don't know what you're doing. Sometimes you're reading, sometimes you're preparing something, and that's what my most of my friends used to do. Either they are coding, taking part in competitions, they are also playing sports. I mean, there are a lot bunch of things. You can't figure out what is the thing that is made for you, right? So, I mean, in first, second year, if you say I was a nerd, complete, right? I couldn't, I wasn't thinking too much. All my focus was, TK, I'll have to get a placement. That's the only thought, nothing else, right? And yeah, I mean, see, engineering days, if you ask me, feel it was a chill day, right? I mean, then if you remember, MBA days is far different than engineering days. You enjoy a lot, you make a lot of good friends. I mean, I think the innocence level is really high at that point of time. After, I mean, whatever happened, the thought process change, I think, happened after Bachelor of Technology, to be honest. Okay, after BTech, only the lot of thought process changed when you actually experience the world. Before that, though, I mean, you're still, I think, he was a kid, 21, 22-year-old.
And sir, how was your childhood like? Was it more of studious child who was always there with books and all? So, or
Yeah, I
you?
was a very shy person. I was very introvert. I'm still, something is still there. Some traits are still there now, but yeah, I was a shy guy with very, like, quite introvert. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of very less social circle.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a one question in the chat box from Sangeeta, I guess.
So, sir, Sangeeta Goswami is asking, from a parent's perspective, what are your views on the fear of their child losing their money in share market, etc.?
If you do it through your parents' money, of course, there is a huge fear. I lost mine. I never lost my parents, so it was all okay. If you want to try hands-on, then obviously do with your own money, which you feel there is no urgent use, right? Apart from that, it will. I mean, you will just get stressed because if you lose, if you lost like a money which is very which was for education or some important purpose, then it takes a huge toll on your mind, right? You lost, like, I also lost a lot of money, but yeah, it was of no use. It was not for a serious use, but yeah, don't play with your parents' money, earn yourself. Now, I think situation has changed a lot. In first, second year, you can get internships, right? And as any startup, you can work remotely. The world has changed a lot. That was not the thing that happened during our time, right? So a lot of people who are still in first, second year are doing internship with us. Many startups are offering internship for remote role, right? So yeah, you can earn that way and even experiment. This was not the case last 10 years back. Okay, so if you want to play with this thing, I mean, experimenting is very important in life. If you don't experiment, you don't learn anything.
Yes.
So first thing is, like, always try to experiment things. What is that, right? Even if I think many of the stories that I have heard, like, even the a lot of interviews, like, people initially take experiments as something stubborn, okay, and then you start, but you still pursue, and then it comes on differently, right? So yeah, I mean, I would say experimenting is the most important part in life.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
Karthik, there are two more questions in the chat
Yeah,
box.
I'm reading them. So, sir, there are two more questions. The first one is by Roshan Kumar. Can anybody choose trading as a career option?
No, I won't suggest. It's stressful. Maybe you could try it part time, but never full time, I would say. I mean, I exceptions do exist, but I won't suggest. It's very, very stressful, and it's, unless you understand risk management, it's going to take us a lot of stress. I mean, you can try your hands on. If you're really good at it, you master, you could understand things fast. But I won't suggest anyone taking care. That's what my idea was. I was planning to keep trading as a career option, but I soon realized that it's it's useless because you just do trade in one room. Nobody knows you, right? And
Yes, yes.
never know if one day you will lose due to something, right? So it's always better to make a company around trading rather than actually doing trading.
Okay. So the next question is.
So right now there is no internship opportunities for any.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
So, any more questions
sir,
from the audience side? Yeah, thank you. Okay,
we
something
have
off
one more
topic.
question.
What's your take on crypto? What?
I have no take on that. I don't do
Okay,
any kind of cryptocurrencies, and I have.
okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, this was my personal question actually. So, if you had one piece of advice for someone who is just starting out, what would it be?
Okay, so I mean, a lot of people talk about ideas. Ideas are, I think, single piece of advice. If I would say, like, find good people, right? Don't stay alone, right? Talk to people, as many people you can, right? Find somebody who could resonate with your idea, whatever it is. I mean, if it's wrong also, I mean, ideas are, like, keeps on changing. I think every month, our ideas change. We will do this, we'll do that, but I mean, if you are on the right direction, the direction should be right, and that could only happen when a group of people discuss together. Okay, always remember you need group of people who like-minded group of people to start off anything. If you are starting off, right, anything, I mean, you can feel, no, I am this thing, I am that thing, but you need second opinion, right? Second guessing. Right now, whatever you see, there is a big team working behind Finshots, Ditto, everything, right? Who does a lot of stuff. So it's not just, it can never be, it's very difficult to have a one man this thing, right? I mean, it's very difficult. So try to talk to a lot of people, make a team, okay, common team who works on, who could resonates, right? And then, yeah, I mean, accept things based on facts. It might look very stupid, it's my idea, it's good, right? Don't be that. Accept feedback, right? Too much feedback is also bad sometimes, because like, even if I take myself, I was very reluctant to take advice, like feedback. I refrained from taking feedback. I was like, whatever I'm doing is right, just shut up. Okay. So that kind of mentality actually doesn't work. It worked by luck from my side, but I think it was because of a good team I had, right? But yeah, I mean, see, a lot of things take real shape when you spend more than a year full time working on it, right? It actually takes a lot of time. So my suggestion is very simple. If you're doing something, do it seriously. Don't take it part time, right? Give your full fledged onto that, right? Think every day about it. When you go to sleep, you think what you can do next, what you can do next, right? So that should be your top priority. That is one way where you can get better at anything you touch. So focusing on one thing is something very difficult. I think many people, every one of us face that. We don't focus on one thing. We focus on multiple things, which actually distracts our focus. Focus on one thing, make it your life, and then yeah, go ahead.
Sir, Hurricane Quest, I guess, is asking one question. During your struggling years in the business, did you ever regret that the decision in your life?
See, I am a person who don't like regrets. Okay, so if I know something would happen, like as of now, I don't have any regrets, to be very frank. Okay, if you ask me, maybe, yeah, I think pretty down the line everything worked well. I don't have any regrets in the business decision, anything, right? Everything worked because what my belief was very simple. Like, maybe time itself decides. We can't force few things in the startup. Sometimes you don't know ki Geo will come and Geo will make penetration so big, right? Not a single startup would have planned for that. Okay, it happened, so it happens, right? So I don't think any decision in the, especially with the business, this thing. Yeah, only regret would be, yeah, I should have started a startup in engineering, but I think it would not have been possible because I mean, yeah, I was too focused on getting a job. I didn't see the power of internet. I didn't see the power of YouTube. You can earn. I should have figured out that much before. That is a major regret. I would have been 5 years younger. So that is a regret, I would say. And
Yeah.
second question is, working as a part of startup is really exciting and rewarding, but it comes with share of risk. Consider fact that might not work out. How would you recommend balancing the risk? There is no way you could balance the risk. Yeah, either you take it or you leave it. Only way you can balance it out is like, just you can put your 2 years down the line, how will you survive? There is no, I mean, the balancing is in that way. How would you survive 2 years without earning anything, where your peers would go ahead in professional way, right? How would you manage that out? So I mean, a lot of people talk to me also, okay, Pawan, you have opted out of placement. Do you really know what is the opportunity cost of opting out of placement from IMA? You could have easily earned 25 lakhs every year, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. I mean, all those decisions, calculated decision, doesn't make sense if your intuition doesn't allow it. So I think risk, balancing that risk, I don't. I mean, I have never lived like that. I always took risk, thinking I have to take it. If I lose, I lose.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any more questions from the audience?
Yeah, there's one question
There's one.
from.
So, what are your suggestions for post-COVID for someone who wants to start up?
I mean, as I told, right? I mean, just it's make a lot of. I mean, right now due to COVID, I think this edtech boom has happened a lot. Right, a lot of education initiatives have bloomed up, and there are still a lot of ideas. I think that can. I mean, you can experiment with, because you can easily get people. Everyone is locked down at home, right? But I think yeah, I mean, right now also slowly it will open up, right? But whatever you want to try up, right? You should make a product. That would be my like small decision. Like you first make the product and then decide. Don't think about the idea and think yeah chalega. Make a product and then see the market reaction.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the next question is by Anandita Paul. Was there any inspirational figure you followed in your early days, or you still follow that shaped your entrepreneurial thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like the Reliance, this thing, Reliance Industries, whatever team they have, like the Mukesh Ambani, Dhirubhai Ambani, all these. I mean, whatever they did is something extraordinary. I mean, they are actually whatever, especially also Geo, the big project they are executing. If you could somebody find out, like, get into their life story and how these group of people executed such a big projects and became obviously it's a big name. So yeah, it really. Do sometime nag me a lot, right? I mean, somebody could become so big from scratch. Yeah, I mean that is inspirational, definitely. I do follow, right? But yeah, only this Reliance thing I do follow. Other than that, I actually don't follow anyone, right? But yeah, I mean, inspiring figure is Dhirubhai Ambani, Mukesh Ambani. They are definitely very inspiring.
And I would also like, till now we have thought about the positive aspects of stock market and all. There are also various negative aspects. Like there's a herd mentality after that Harshad Mehta's movie release. Everyone wants to become the next Harshad Mehta. It's become much more crazy in India, like IITs and IIMs. So there are a lot of people who are taking the wrong steps, like investing money from by taking loans from credit card. There are a lot of people going into depression. So as a person who is involved in all these matters, what's your take and what's your advice regarding to minimize these things in future?
I mean, see, I mean, to me, very smart decision, or you can say very smart advice would be like, yeah, like if there's a small baby, like if there is a hot lantern or a hot object out there, right? It doesn't matter how many times you stop that guy, right, telling him you should not touch it. The small baby will not realize until he actually burns his hand, right? So my suggestion would be let them go, let them figure out what happens, right? That is the best way to actually learn. I would say what to do, what not to do in life, right? Without losing, I don't think. I mean, obviously, there are enough material and content. People in India know that the stock market and all is a gambling. I also used to hear that so much, right? Content was already there. You shouldn't go, but I still went, right? So I think it depends. Like,
So if there are any more questions, the session is about to end. Please just shoot right now. I guess not. So So thank you for very much, sir, for joining. So, sir, that concludes the session today. Thank you very much for joining here tonight. I'm sure the students and the participants will take something of value from your words and your journey. It has been really inspiring one. Thank you for being here. We are really honored to have you here, sir.
sure, thank you, same here.
And thank you, sir, for very honestly sharing your experience from failures to successes to your
Sure,
wrong
sure,
decisions and all. Thank you, sir,
great.
and also some blunt replies whether what to start and what to not start. So it was really a
And
very
yeah,
good session for
actually,
all
the
of us.
major learning people should have is what not to do in life, right? Rather than what to do.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Bye,
Yes.
guys.
So